Nintendo. Creepy. Why were there two startup screens? Okay, well, that works. Bowser's Last Stand. Super Mario Legends 3. I didn't play the first two, not gonna stop me. What's up, Kappa? How you doing? Game drops you right in to a brick room. I presume this has something to do with the prior game's ending, but there's nothing I can really guess at this point. After his failed attempt merging his world in the Mushroom Kingdom, Bowser attempts one final plan by destroying the world. It's not a bad plan. I've definitely seen worse. There we go. We're missing the lore. We're missing some lore. Not all of it, but some of it. Alright. Also, hi Kappa. Doing good. Found something help Frequent Project. Nice. Oh, more lore. You've beaten me in this rematch, but I'm not done, Mario. I'm going to destroy everything. Prepare for your end. Bowser, of course. Sup? Man, I really need to learn how to pronounce your name. Viril? Hope that's close. And Matt. Hello, Matt. We're learning so much about everything. Now, we're just getting back to doing some moderating. I haven't done much of that recently, though my last time I bust out the SNES, I attempted to. But easy difficulty, as per usual, somehow defeats himself. And actually being difficult. Destroy. I was close enough. Put a marker down. Let him know, I suppose, in case he cares. Bowser spelling. How am I doing? I'm doing good. Spent yesterday not doing much, mostly just hungover, and then today got some work stuff done and some Mario stuff done, and watched like half of a theatrical version of Pizza Tower. I really should watch the other half. One of those things I didn't expect to be remotely good, but it turned out to be pretty dang funny, so. Is that... I think that's fine. It's not ideal. It's a little cut-off-ish. Cut-off-ish. Not moderating for a while can relate. It happens to a lot of us, don't it? Happens to a lot of us. Oh, you can't stand on these. That might explain a few things. I mean, my excuse was that I was mostly out of the state for the better part of the month. Which is not the best of excuses, but still. I understand, certainly other piles of moderation that need to be done don't get done as quickly as everyone would necessarily like, but they get done eventually, and that's what matters. Not that the standard hack queue isn't as short as I would like it to be presently. And of course, the music queue people will never, ever, ever get out from that gigantic hole they're in. Because that's just how music works on SMW Central. There's always, they moderate one and, 4 more pop up. I think I might have missed something fun up there. Maybe not. One of those things with level design like this, you gotta have to figure out what the person's going for. Oh, what's up, Max? Poison of choice for anger. Oh, this was just beer. I went to a rock show and ended up hanging out a lot later than I probably should have. So it was mostly just beer. A little bit of tequila, but not a significant contributor to the head hangover by any means. Have I changed the capture method? Slightly. There's now a powered splitter in front of everything. Just in front of S-Video, actually. Not in front of everything else. Just S-Video. Okay, I didn't miss anything. That was a 50-second detour for no good reason. It's made a difference for how well I can see it on the projector, but I don't think it's made a dang lick of difference for how the capture looks. And that was what the poll in Discord, not really not poll, but quick survey was in Discord, was finding out if it made any difference at all, and people could not tell any difference between any of them in the still image, which I think it would come through, because there were some nice contrast lines. But yeah, in 160p, it's not going to matter. Alright. Moderation's sake, now I need to die. Eventually, yeah. Submit miscontrol hack to make Hackmon's card. That's not too bad. You know, I'm willing to tackle a miscontrol every once in a while, and I know a couple other people are willing to be multidisciplinary. I think Alex sometimes just goes and does whatever, because Alex can totally do whatever, and no one's going to complain, because Alex is good at whatever. But, like, I took on a couple of hacks that thought they were real hacks, but were troll hacks. There was that really weird one, I think one was even called. It was a sequel to a Mario 1 hack that consisted of all of, like, one single room where you had to do some careful duck jumping, and it was a sequel to that, and the whole thing was so bizarre. Like Boko Boko World. Hydro waiting sections, moderate 1. Wait a minute, 3 more pop up? Exactly. Good memories, indeed. Any skills need for moderating ports? Honestly, I don't know what much goes into the music stuff on SMW Central. I know that they all used add music of some sort of variety, but there's like 4 of them that people actually still use that have different letters after them. It's a language for describing music, but I don't really understand it. It's not something I know too much about. Warning, my loyal troops. That's not how you spell troop. I'll put a marker down for that. The world will end tonight. Stop Mario at all costs. Bowser. I guess he could be British. Maybe that would explain some differences in spelling. I guess probably not troop. For moderating hacks, it's mostly a matter of patience and being willing to document things. I will rule and destroy everything that stands in my way, and send you to the underwear where you belong, Mario. Well, that's just pants. But yeah, like, I applied to be a moderator on a bit of a whim, and I was let in, mostly because I can write coherent sentences in the English language and have demonstrated competency at standard Mario hacks. I'm definitely not the most skilled of moderators, but I work well in my niche. And don't really mind doing these lengthy hacks. Because I haven't done one of these in a while, not since, like, Prequels, I think, that I've done a hack that's had, like, more than 4 exits. Not really 4, like 7 or something. But still, relatively small hacks since recently. Because I didn't want to really take on any large projects for a while after that, but I'm kind of okay with taking on large projects again. You get the feeling there might be some stuff up there. Oh, hey, look at that lag. There we go. Put down a small marker. Is that a Paper Mario gag? Maybe. Might poke around the music moderating. Yeah, go take a look. I mean, people do a lot of porting stuff. In fact, there's currently a competition on SMW Central called they host called Super Famicompo, where people compose music. And I am making no progress in what I'm trying to do here. For the system, I think. I imagine most of those end up on SMW Central eventually. I don't know exactly how it all works. This is, again, an area where I confess ignorance. Okay, I think my best guess is I had a chance to go to an upper path over here that I'm not going to be able to really do anything about. Well, maybe not. Maybe I can... This might be doable. Might be doable. Let's duck jump. I might just be a little bit too far, even with the... Yeah. I'd need to jump on the mole if I want to get back up there. Yeah, that's... Interesting, there's a discontinuity there. What's up, Faro? How you doing? Yeah, that's a place to start. Yep. What's up, H. Carol? How you doing? Smack them all, yeah. Underwear's location in Super Paper Mario, which is clearly meant to be some sort of HAL equivalent. Oh! Doesn't have to be based on ad music or NPC. Specifically the Greek world. Okay. Now, I assumed it was some sort of gag, and it clearly is. I'm gonna just die and take another lap through here, because I already have the midway. I assume that they won't turn down ad music K versions of songs. Just because. Okay, that's something. One tile too low for that. And now we get ads. This is fine too. Okay, so really what I learned here is I didn't really miss the thing I was looking for. I just didn't press down on the pipe. This has happened to me a little bit too recently, where I fail to enter a good pipe and miss out on something. Need to be more fastidious, as is the nature of it. Did I put a marker down for this lag? If I didn't, I should have. Put a marker down for lag too, why not? Marker down for lag. When is Game Redeem coming back? Once I clear a non-trivial portion of that queue, and I'm going to rethink how I do it. I do think what I'll probably have to do is something like you get a stream of a game. With... Someone do that? No face. Okay, that explains the thing. I think No Face didn't quite come over the right way. I may have screwed something up, or possibly it's using some sort of system that doesn't like this. I don't want to be in this level. Have an equivalent was porting that over there. We're not sure. Speaking of music porting, your son started porting music. First game you ported was Secret Mana. Nice. Your seal of approval. Yeah, that doesn't look right. Let's try to put Mario back and see what happens. Okay, so it doesn't work well for this system. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna die. So here's what I'm gonna do. Well, there's no point in loading a different sprite if they're all gonna turn into soup. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna reset the game after I get a save. And we're gonna disable that because it clearly doesn't work. I've run into this specific thing before, and I couldn't tell you why it doesn't work exactly. Then if like or we'll reset now. That works. Cool, missing no skin. Yeah. These things happen. When you're dealing with this sort of stuff, it's all kind of like... maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. Anyway, I was hoping to get a save point first, but, you know, this is how this goes sometimes. But I don't do a moderation thing, so I can kind of run through the first level, and then run through the second level, and presumably run a chunk of the way through the third level. But yeah, the reset reward is automated. So it makes it easier for people to do that, and it makes it more of a surprise for me. Like, an awful lot of reset game things come through, you've got to, like, see the reward and then do the thing. Yeah, I don't have to do that here, it just happens. One of those things I probably should cap off to, like, 1 per stream, but I probably won't. So... in the meantime, just run back through level 1, because it's not a very long level. I just have to not worry about the specific... oh, right. I don't have to worry about collecting the coins. Checking the maidways. Like, I'll be done with this fairly quickly. It's level 1 after all. We're taking this path because I kind of like it. I feel like the upper path was the faster path when I went and checked all the things. Oh. Well, I'd like to be big now. What's up, Paoluta? Thanks for the good luck. Why it doesn't work? It just doesn't work in some. Maybe... once I have a save, I have an idea, I'll check something, but I don't remember what I did last time I ran into this specific, like, the thing looks like barf problem. 'Cause I know it's happened before. I've definitely seen it happen before. But it's possible, like, they changed some of the offsets or something, I don't know. All the good reasons to. Oh, missing no skin. Set pressing bonus compatibility because only gets it sampled. Has a 0 bead delay. Interesting. I know nothing about porting music. That sounds fascinating. Funky moment you gotta watch in 480 because your internet is apparently too lame for proper definition. Yeah, I don't know why. Like, I don't actually have this up too high of a resolution. Like, it's even occurred to me, like, I probably should, like, make the canvas into the 1080p canvas instead of the 720p canvas and work from there. But I'm too lazy. And for almost everything I play, it doesn't matter that I'm shrinking things down a wee bit. Oh, right, yeah, I need the dragon coins at this level. Should lazy, but it's not because I'm lazy, it's because I'm working off the thing on a projector. Everything's tiny on the projector. You try to do 1 pixel adjustments on a projector, it sucks. Like, I'm constantly squinting at that screen, wondering, oh yeah, is that 1 pixel of error the projector being kind of misaligned? Because it uses LCDs, so that, like, there's 3 of them. So there's already a little bit of misalignment from that. Or is it because it's actually misaligned in OBS? And the answer is, I don't know. It's hard to tell. That's one of my least favorite things about messing with OBS. In fact, messing around with OBS on my MacBook was so much easier by comparison because of that, despite all of the other and obvious, obnoxious faults that macOS has, such as rounding the corners of the bottom of windows, even when the render target is clearly a rectangle. And not remembering what names of applications I want to capture between sessions. And having the list of processes be randomly sorted, so Vim ends up on top, or maybe WireGuard, who knows? It's a mystery every single time. I think it's sorted by PID, but I'm not entirely sure. There's 2 of them? That's a little weird. 2 of them. Use a CRT projector? That would be nice. Answer, I don't know, is the best answer. Tinkered with a project a week or 2 back and had some people try it. Everyone who tried it said a lot of potential. So I guess there's that. Oh, cool. What kind of project, Faro? Oh, saying about Max. Yeah, don't worry about it. Really don't worry about it. Like, the OBS capture on Mac is actually pretty nice. What I've been doing with what I've had to do with it. It's just like some of the weirdness that Macs just have makes it kind of annoying. The worst one I've had is just like I cannot get things to render in consistent sizes. Some games ignore, like, especially games that should be able to ignore window sizes. So like you say, I want to render this to in a 16 by 9 size, and it's cool with it. Other times it's like, no, that's not a resolution you support. I only do things that are 16:10. Even though you said to render to a window, I don't care about that. You know, just I gotta make sure I'm doing the right full screen thing because of the stupid MacBook notch. Which would mean even if it was rendered in the size it wanted, I'm still gonna be missing some pixels at the top of the screen. Meaning in SMW terms, I would be missing like a bit around the item box if it worked that way, which is silly and pointless. You might guess I'm not a fan of the notch. But it's the future, and that's my only option if I want a MacBook, so I have to put up with it. Still better than the touch bar. The touch bar was complete and utter garbage. Like, the best thing you could do with the taskbar was download the Nyan Cat thing, which let you have a Nyan Cat on your taskbar, or on your touch bar. That was it. Like, there's been nothing better done with that thing, ever. And I'm glad they removed it. A two-tone pipe, a bit weird. Especially in auburn colors, which I do not approve of. I think I got a midway, so if I get the last dragon coin, I'm gonna die here. These are all gonna be milestone dragon coins, so. That's where No Face Mario came from? Interesting. If enjoying your Mac is complaining about it. Oh yeah, absolutely. There was one of those like fantastic viral videos that went around about this guy complaining about his iMac. And one of the things he does is compare it to, he says, it's got a handle so you can use it as a boat anchor! And whenever an application wants your attention, it starts jumping up and down like a fucking Jack Russell Terrier and it won't leave you alone. And what's amazing is that complaint is still valid in the year 2023. I watched that video in like 2003. And of course, it was delivered as a QuickTime .mov and was of course edited on a Mac. One of those, despite all the bitching about it, still wouldn't want to go any other way. Remember that video? Nice. Also hate the dock and the window management. Yeah. I just want to let the windows go wherever they want nowadays and just have a few full screen things on the other side. It works better. For Christmas in 2022, you get an older Mac. Had Wine installed on it. macOS 10.11.6. Oh, that's old. Yeah, Brew is nice. Brew is absolutely wonderful. I don't think I like Brew as much as I like Apt, in the grand scheme of things. But still, having an actual good, legit package manager is so excellent. Yeah, putting wide on these things works surprisingly well as long as it's still a x86 MacBook. Like, I've definitely done, like, Lunar Magic, another two-tone pipe. Imagine you get placed into a world with no other objective than someone is waiting for you, pushing you to explore and look around. Looking around, you find levels to play through, which give you stars to collect. You can find mist scars scattered around open world area, too. Open world is more of a giant maze of areas and whatnot. Eventually, you may come across a person waiting for you. Okay, that sounds cool. That sounds a little bit like, well, obviously Mario 64. But there's like a weird liminal spaces version of Mario 64 that sounds kind of similar to. One of those, like, if I ever got emulation of 64 working on my MacBook, I would definitely consider that as a I am traveling game, because it fits the criterias. You know, that and other Mario 64 things, like Luigi's Taco Stand. Alright. Piranha Plant gets stuck up there. Yeah, B3313. Yep. It's the main inspiration with added stuff from Yume Nikki. Oh yeah, that's another game in that kind of genre of you do things and hope stuff happens. Never actually played it. Vaguely familiar with it. Almost, but didn't actually bother reading the manga version of it because it was done by an artist I liked. But I think it was only like one chapter that was translated, and so I didn't bother. Not enough to get invested in. I think it was the person who did Milk Closet. It was a weird manga. Very satisfying. So far you like music porting? Excellent. I like that people like music porting. It's a skill set I am very unlikely to ever have. And so I appreciate that other people are willing to do it. I could not music my way out of a paper bag. I mean, I guess it gave me a pair of drumsticks I could break out of a paper bag with the drumsticks, but that wouldn't be very musical, honestly. Okay, I think I need to die now. Got my dragon coins. Time for the midway test. Genuinely always wanted to tinker out that kind of game. It's one of your favorite game types out there. You wander around and just explore with not much of a goal other than to explore. Had one Windows laptop, you had to wipe Windows 10 off it because it came too slow. Laptop down, it's completely unusable, and put Linux on it. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, and exploration type games are hard to get right, I feel like. There needs to be a certain amount of, like, impetus to bother, but that's not quite the right way to phrase it. Like, Yume Nikki has, like, reasons to look for things, and of course there's a whole bunch of secrets and things. It's really just a secret-finding game. You're not finding jiggies, you're finding content. But it is a fascinating class of game, especially ones that don't really have anything resembling combat or other types of gameplay. Sort of the purest platonic form of a walking simulator, except it's not linear like most walking simulators are. Oh crap, it's Crayclaw. Oh, okay. There's a floor down there. And a ceiling up there. I like this room to fight Crayclaw in. Yeah, way better than the dreadful flying glove. Used to do audio for a job, now you program, so it's all about how gluing them together. Yep. There's so much of that in programming. It's not my favorite of things. But it does work. And it does work well. Usable now, never used Linux before, but you think it's magic? Slamming drumsticks on the paper bag could be theoretically qualified as musical, depending on how you do it. Maybe. Had a fascinating with find the content games, which is obviously never sat down and played Yume Nikki. Really? I find that also surprising. I feel it was sort of the progenitor of an awful lot of the games, like, I don't know. I feel like somehow Yume Nikki must have had some influence on Undertale. If I had to make a guess. Because it just feels right. Even if I have no real reason to guess, if I have no real reason to state that it must have. Yeah, oh, if I said oh crab, it was completely on accident. It was oh crab, like I'm just surprised, oh crab. But it worked. Oh, I hate spawners. I was watching some Cutthroat Kitchen because I wanted something that did not require thinking much while I had a hangover. And one of the early episodes, it's a cooking show where people have to cook things within a very limited amount of time. And you could buy sabotages from Alton Brown, such as removing everyone else's ability to taste their food or salt their food. They got better in later seasons. The first few seasons didn't have very good challenges. But one of the more interesting ones was a guy had his crab for crab cakes replaced with California rolls. And you could buy the sabotage to put on someone else, and he decided that he would buy it and use it on himself because his crab wasn't going all that well. And I've seen a lot of Cutthroat Kitchen. I don't think that particular tactic was used all that often, of buying a sabotage because it puts you in a better position. More than like a couple times. Yeah, very big brain. I said, oh crap, yes. Yeah, an unsampled port of overgrown area from Super Metroid would be cool. You know, I actually kind of like unsampled ports. I like how constrained it is. And I imagine it also just saves space when you're trying to do things in SMW as opposed to samples, because I understand samples in music can be quite big. You know what? I absolutely love killing Koopas that way. It's so utterly pointless, but, you know, making them kick themselves off the edge is just too much fun. Pretend it was Oh Crab because it's cooler? Yes, absolutely. First two ports are sampled. Actually want to do unsampled ports? Okay. I approve. The other sabotage of note in the really early season that's absolutely amazing. Challenges make mac and cheese in under 30 minutes. Easy, you know? It's mac and cheese. Ain't that complicated. However, one of the sabotages someone bought for this dude was you have to make a dessert mac and cheese using the stuff we give you in this basket, which has candies and nuts and other things that you would not normally find in a mac and cheese. And so dude actually absolutely rocks it, makes like, you know, white chocolate infused fresh pasta and a bechamel with mascarpone and ricotta and some white chocolate. And he's actually doing a reasonable job of the idea of dessert mac and cheese. And then for the damnedest, stupidest thing he decides, he's got to kick it over the top. And so he throws in some lobster. Because nothing screams dessert like lobster. It is absolutely confounding. It's confounding for everybody in the room. And yeah, no, he gets sent home because you put lobster in your dessert mac and cheese. That's insane. Why would you do that? Oh, actually, I don't think there's an easy way for me to die here. Because of the... Yeah, I have to go get jumped on by Chuck several times. It's the worst part about midway testing, especially when people only use their Dragon Coins as mile markers. Hey, run into the Chuck! Unsampled points before Add Music K are good because they tried doing something with vanilla instruments. It's not very distinct. Now you feel like it's just using too many commands and it is hard to make vanilla instruments sound half like the original one. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know enough to actually have an opinion either way. I know I enjoy hearing unsampled ports from time to time, but I can kind of see where you're going with that. It's kind of like the VLDC rules and how they've gotten so abused by people to the point where, like, now it's kind of silly. I just noticed something. Okay, either I've been blind for a number of years... Thanks. That didn't help. There we go. Is Mario crossing his legs while he's sliding? Like, something looks wrong with this slide, and I can't really put a finger on it. And maybe it's just I haven't been paying attention to Mario as he's butt sliding. He isn't? Okay. Oh, sleep well, Matt. Hope you have a good morning tomorrow. And possibly afternoon. Trying out instruments with pitch modulation. Stubby legs are pointing straight out. Okay, I think it was just a case of me, like, completely ignoring something, and now I'm just confused. It'd also be a theoretical answer as to why, some sort of custom Mario handling stuff would result in the vomit we saw earlier. But I don't know. Given this person's made at least 2 other hacks, I don't really think that he's unknowledgeable about these kinds of things. Though I think this is the first one he's published on SMW Central. I don't know if he's like a romhacking.net guy, or maybe, you know, only publishes... Oh, Moon! Or only publishes his stuff on, like, one of those other, like, language-only SMW community websites. Like, there's the French. No, there's the Spanish one, there's the Brazilian Portuguese one, there's Japanese, obviously. I think there's a German one, but I have no idea where it is. Like, at least the other ones I have a vague idea of where to find them, but not the Germans. They're underground. They're probably not that underground. I could probably just be like, hey, Fries, tell me where the Germans are. I assume he would actually know. Or some of the other Europeans who would be more aware of such things. And, yep, there it is. Back with cinnamon raisin English muffins. Oh, that sounds tasty. I haven't had an English muffin in so long. Those cinnamon raisin ones were good back in the day. A little bit of butter on them, just go. Takes no time or effort to make an adequate tasting breakfast. And nowadays, I pretty much just eat cereal. Well, I have some eggs. I might fry up some eggs, like, tomorrow. Do that during the daily meeting, since I don't actually have to talk in the daily meeting this one. Tried to make grilled cheese during the daily meeting a couple days ago, and that did not go that well. In fact, what ended up happening was I finished making the grilled cheese about 2 minutes before the meeting, and then spent a decent chunk of the meeting hoping no one would call on me so I could keep eating my grilled cheese. Not really a breakfast of champions, but if I don't eat the bread fast enough, it all goes moldy, so it kind of defeats the purpose. Tried out your setup on high-res and pseudo-high-res? Yeah, no, I have not yet. Okay, well that doesn't work. That's interesting. Doesn't move you after that, which is a bit strange. Tried pseudo. Yeah, so here's the thing, is that I don't think this this powered splitter is smart enough to be worried about different modes. I'm fairly certain it was made by Radio Shack in the 70s, and it's probably just got a couple transistors in it or something like that. It's not smart. Also a bummer, because I bought that new one that turned out to be less good than the one from Radio Shack, which is just impressive. Like, how do you add that skew at the bottom? Like, maybe it isn't expecting the progressive mode, but still. I might send them an email about it, because I'm just disappointed. I want to get my money back, but it was like 15 bucks, so I just don't really care. Because it would take a lot more effort to pack the whole thing up. They said it in this giant box. Like, the box clearly was, like, made for shipping pet food or something. It's that big of a box. You could easily put a couple giant bags of dog food in it. And what came in was, you know, a component box that's like the size of your hand. It's not very big. I don't know why they decided this is how it had to be. Altogether weird shipping. At least Amazon has the excuse of, like, optimizing their shipping and all that for absurd amounts of logistics. I don't think these guys have that excuse. All right, all Dragon's coins accounted for. I think I hit a midway. Yeah, I think both Max and you have turned on pseudo high-res at some point with the capture. I didn't change the capture card. The capture card is still the GV USB that I got forever ago to replace the old Oh, thanks for the follow. Enjoy your fish. To replace the old, like, game capture HD that was having issues, and all was having issues with HDMI capture, and also started, also just always had horrible lag problems. Like, I don't even remember when I got the GV USB at this point. It's been so long. But it fixed an awful lot of problems, such as the lag is so high, it's hard for me to time my chat hacks moves. Because I know we did chat hacks with the older one for some time, and then going to the newer one gave you guys like a second or two less latency. It was nice. Do you like Mario movie? I assume you mean the movie. I saw the movie. It was pretty good. How you doing, Sonny? Sonny J2. I don't know how to pronounce the lead part of that. Yeah, I enjoyed it when I went and saw it. Just chilling. Excellent. Want to try it? Yeah, Farv, if you send it over, I might be able to try it out after a certain point here. I'm not sure how long the stream's going to go for. I don't think I'm going to finish this tonight, so... Iggy Koopa is defeated, but Mario must not delay. Mario must chase Bowser through the desert plains. Call you DJ? Okay, I can do that. Wish you had a finished project that had high res. You do not. I understand, the Donut. I understand. I definitely wish that I could I want to finish a hacking project at some point. I have a few ideas that I just need to sit down and execute on. There's so many projects on my project list that I really should like focus on one of the existing ones, but you know how that works. You only focus on existing projects, you'll get them done, and then you won't have them. Which is probably how I should try to be. Hey, Pokey. Still need to do the Zelda 1 stuff. I'm vaguely tempted to do Zelda 1 on SNES, because, what's his name? Infidelity went and ported Zelda 1 to the SNES, and that would make my life a lot easier for doing certain things. So I might talk to Desi about that, but I'm certain he'll be a purist, and I really don't blame him for it. Oh, shoot! 17 Live-O. Technically, like, Hodgepodge is finished, but it's not really. Yeah. Using emulation mode? Oh, I don't know. I don't know how they do it. Hello, Memory Lane. What's up, Boozy? What's up, Memory Lane? How you doing? Thank you for the raid. Very much unexpected. Enjoy your message box. So beautifully there, rendered with all of its fish. How was your stream? What were you up to? Hope it was something fun. I'm just doing some moderating for SMW Central. I'm one of the standard mods. We moderate standard hacks. Amongst other things, typically. And yeah, so I'm just running this one through its paces. I've been playing it for a bit. It's a bit linear, but it's not bad. I think this guy has sort of a more linear design in mind, and that's just fine. There's like been no secret exits or anything. Very few pipes or anything. Infidelity was also the creator of Mega Man Hack Ultra. I believe it. Lots of fun playing Mycelium. Oh, as a hack, okay. Oh, that reminds me. Huh, I should do this. Bam. I forgot to do that, usually. Thanks for the good luck moderating. Thanks for good luck. Hello, the Tays. Thank you for the good luck, too. Do I like 2-pack or Biggie? I don't know. I don't think so. I'm not huge into rap, especially not in that particular era. And dying. So the difference between moderating sometimes and playing is that you want to make sure certain features work. In this case, I'm dying after getting all the Dragon Coins because I want to make sure the midway works. Having midways that don't work is really bad. And I don't like it when I see hacks that have that problem. It doesn't happen too often, but when it does, it's really annoying. It can basically soft lock you in a game if it saves midways, which I've seen. Or it can just force you to reset and lose your midway because, you know, you died in the wrong place and now you don't have a midway. It was one fun one I played where the person thought that they could put a sprite platform in a specific spot, and it turned out to not spawn consistently when coming through the midway. And by spawn consistently, I mean at all. That was fun. Basically, every SNES is an NES controller emulation mode, and you can emulate the NES. There's an option to swap the emulation mode with a bit, carry bit, XCE, so you just do SE. Yeah, that's true, but that doesn't emulate all the hardware around the NES or NES. Yeah, and so like all of the audio stuff is different, and pretty much all the video stuff is different too. So, like the way VRAM is laid out, you don't get your bank swapping if you're doing MMC whatevers. Like there's an awful lot of constraints that are a bit different. I don't think Zelda 1 uses MMC3, and I don't think it uses anything particularly interesting from it. Just graphic pages. No, wait, it has. No, it doesn't use graphic pages. It uses VRAM. Or well, CHR RAM actually, not VRAM. I mean, it is VRAM, but that's not how anyone who hacks the NES would call it. We do technical things here sometimes. Emulation mode just switches vectors and turns on some legacy output. Interesting. I presume it also would lock you into using only 8-bit registers as well, wouldn't it? Or would it still let you keep the 16-bit registers? So, yeah, one of the other kind of silly things, if you haven't noticed, there's like the Mario Maker death markers. And I normally would show it off after a raid, but it doesn't work well in this game. You can swap character sprites when I'm playing hacks, usually, unless it breaks the game, and for some reason it breaks this game. Instead of Mario, you get a pile of barf. Not really sure why. So, on my list of things to investigate at some point. It's happened before, but I haven't seen it in a long time. As entertaining as playing as a indeterminate sprite is, it's not too much fun. Makes it hard to tell if you're big or small. I have no idea. You've unsurprisingly never used emulation. I mean, I think pretty much any time you're writing assembly code on the SNES, the first thing you do is make sure emulation mode is off. Presuming you're actually like at the start of your ROM as opposed to your reset vector or whatever, as opposed to, you know, writing it uber ASM. I'd be curious to know what if any games actually use it. Which I guess wouldn't be that hard to find out. I don't really know. It's a bit like when I said that an awful lot of games don't use Mode 7. I think like pretty much every game uses Mode 7 for something. Like it was a Nintendo requirement at one point. Thou must use Mode 7 for something. Like even Donkey Kong Country uses it like at the very beginning to zoom in the logo. And then never again. And then same thing for some other things where like it's used for the intro, but not much else. I don't know why I'm so fastidious about these sometimes. There weren't that many blocks is all I'm saying. Use mode 4 or 6? Yes. Mario 1? You know? Mario 1 is a possibility. So 1, I do actually have a Mario 1 sprite, but unfortunately, as I've said, we can't use it. And 2, another two-tone pipe. I do a thing called chat hacks every once in a while. More often than some people would like, less often than some other people would like. Where people can load in their own little assembly modules or write to values to RAM in real time onto my console. Because I'm playing on a Super Nintendo with an SD to SNES in it. So it all happens on real hardware. And one of ASM Magician Max's modules, actually 2 of them for technical reasons, turns the game into Mario 1. A straight-up legit port of Mario 1. It's kind of disconcerting, but very cool. One of the niftiest effects. Because again, like the Super Nintendo really is a Super Nintendo. You don't have to modify too much code that isn't dealing with I/O. Once you understand that fact. But you do have to modify code dealing with I/O, and that's a non-trivial amount of code. Come on and slam! I get the feeling like by the time I get done with this, it's just going to be minor aesthetic stuff in my markers. Imagine using Mode 7 outside of that. Who's like that? Major. They're all good. I like Mario 2. I played a hack of Mario 2 recently that was Beatles themed. Honestly, I liked it a whole lot. They ported the music amazingly. Another one there with the two-tone pipe. Like, not only is it audibly the Beatles music, but also YouTube picks it up for copy strikes. So like my my VOD of it was like, no, sorry, Eleanor Rigby's in here multiple times. Mostly because I kept dying in World 6 and got tired of talking while dying in World 6. But another one there. It's all gonna be just two-tone pipes. The thing is, I could believe it to be an aesthetic choice, or I could believe, as Barb is, another two-tone pipe. Okay, I'm done marking down two-tone pipes. That's 2 tones too many. The cape was cheating. Let's get rid of it. More fun to mess with this way. Oh. You know, sometimes you just don't expect them to jump and then they do. Very convenient. Convenient Chuck. Everything OAM is different enough to require rewrites everywhere. Oh, you. Play the one dedicated to Kaden. That one's a fun hack. Had a lot of crazy stuff. And there's a gag in one of the levels that made me just absolutely lose it. It was fantastic. In fact, just thinking about it makes me laugh. That was such a good hack. The two-tone pipes. Yeah. Mario 3 is also good. Like, I'd like to, at some point, play some Mario 3 hacks or something. You know, as we were talking about list of projects, like streaming projects, I've got some weird stuff I'd like to do. And I did have considered it, but I'd like to finish some other projects first, like getting some moderating done. Because I'd done that, as I said, for a while. I was out of state for about 3 weeks. So any streaming I did was with my MacBooks outside. Which is why all of those VODs have loud cicada noises. Which is kind of fun, honestly. Added some good ambience. But that being said, did restrict me in my game choices. There's some games I'd like to play that use a mouse. There's some games I'd like to play that use the Squiggle Box, which is a Windows 98 machine that I use for playing silly DOS games and silly Windows 98 games. Got a couple of things I'd like to do with that, but I haven't gotten around to it. And yeah, I've got an NES Everdrive, but I almost never busted out. Oh, hello. I think last time I used it was for Final Fantasy II. Nintendo Desi requested Final Fantasies 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, and 3, and I played through 2 and 3 first. Well, 3 and 2 first, in that order. Gotta say, Final Fantasy II is a trip. Unless you're dedicated, I would not recommend playing it. The game is needlessly cruel at times. Stupid blaster cats. I will never forgive the blaster cats. Corals. They are the worst. Isn't this Sonic and Knuckles background? Kind of looks like it. I like the lit candles that are nowhere near where they should be. Hit yourself to raise stats. Pretty much. That's what I named the first VOD, was Stop Hitting Yourself. Because that's what you have to do, is just keep hitting yourself to raise your stats. And if you don't, you're in trouble. You need those stats. Makes raising things like MP really hard, though. Because you only get so many magic points. You need to drain a lot of magic points to get an MP up. What was the other one that was really hard and I didn't understand until the last minute? Was agility. The way agility works in that game is not trivial to understand. Oh, I wasn't one down. I think Evil Ghost explained it to me, and it had something to do with equipping certain things and running away certain times, or dodging things raises your agility, but your agility isn't actually your speed stat. But I think it's related, but not exactly the same, or something weird like that. Just confounding mechanic. This is a really long auto-scroller. I don't think I've seen a midway. Not sure how midways work in this. I really don't want to do this again. I'm hoping the midway's after this. Because that's how you should do it. You should have your midways after your auto-scrollers, not the other way around. Was looking at my CLDC VODs, and I forgot that the second level I played had a lengthy auto-scroller right before a boss. And if it hadn't been for that, that entire the entire level would have been about 10 minutes. But nope. It's like the maximal size you can make this. I didn't really realize that, like, you could... I kind of assumed you just had to edit over that one specific room, and you only could ever have things that were approximately the size of, like, that room in Lenny's castle. Larry's castle. Iggy's castle. Definitely Iggy's castle. He's demented, so it's Iggy's castle. Or one of, like, the other 3 mallet rooms. I rather expected this to be done by now. Because they've decided, like, to go all in on this. Yeah, there's going to be an SMB3 hacking contest on SMW Central in October. Should be good fun. I do not believe I will be one of the judges. But they should have good judges. I don't know who they are, but they should be good. They're good at recruiting good judges. And I'll certainly make myself available for testing if need be. For testing on hardware. Though EverDrive hardware is a bit more finicky than SD to SNES. Hey, there's our mid... No. Saw it coming. And apologies for not reading chat as quickly, because I've been stuck in this level. There we go. And then he can smash that part as much as he wants. Sandopolis background? Yes. Russian man wins? It's very possible. Yeah, the... HLDC kind of wasn't there. SMB3 mix, yes, I have. That should be fun. If he participates. He might be a judge, you never know. Actually ask you to work as a team for that contest. That could be cool. Not sure if you have the general ASM know-how. Donut, please. Nintendo putting the checkpoint right before the auto-scroll. The mental Iggy, yes. Captain Southport. Yeah, I don't know much about Mario 3's disassembly, but if you can write assembly for Super Nintendo, you can write assembly for the regular Nintendo Donut. Some things are different, but there definitely are similarities that you can exploit. I get the feeling this boss isn't working the way it's supposed to. Because usually aren't these, like, flamey? Or maybe I'm just thinking about the one in Marissa World that was really painful to play against. I mean, amongst the other things that were in Marissa World that were painful. That was one of the hacks of all time. But yeah, I'm not that good at NES assembly either. Though I did do some Zelda 2 stuff that was kind of fun. Because I made that Zelda 2 Desi edition, I need to make sure I still have the code for all that and that it still works. Because I lost some of the stuff in when my hard drive exploded. My minions, you will convince Bowser. You will obey him. Bowser will not spoil my plans for world domination. Okay, so we have a new villain. Fascinating. Oh, that just looks awful. I'm not a fan of that muck. I'd say it looks like boiling mud, but that certainly wasn't what came to mind. Not putting markers down for more two-tone pipes. Well, I'm falling into the mire. Background now music. Sandopolis 2, yep. There's no decimal mode. That's huge. Interesting. Oh yeah, to avoid licensing costs. Yeah, because they had to... Actually, that part of the chip is there, it's just disconnected. If you, like, go and decap it and look at the transistors. They actually left the decimal mode stuff on the chip because it was cheaper just to disconnect it. Yeah, weird issues. Actually... I want to take off so I can see up there. Because clearly cape level, some cape level nonsense is going on here. Always forget not to let go of B. So there's just coins up here. They're not terribly interesting coins. Okay, cool. I guess we'll leave that alone then. I don't really care about the coins being up there. And honestly, it'd just be easier to run back through this with a cape after I get dragon coin. Oh, right, I need to get my dragon coins. There's another reason for me not to fly over the entire level with a cape. Well, that was a dangerous way of going about it. Kind of debating just resetting the whole thing. Alright, cool. That's good enough. The problem with having a cape is I have to worry about taking off, which I don't really want to. But then you stop and think, oh, but cape! Cape is the best. Like, you can't do that with your mushroom. Okay. Just don't like those guys. Okay, midway check. The fuck is Palette 2 looking lava meant to be? I don't know. That's like what I said. I see this as a functional decimal mode and it's goated. Use it a few times. It's very handy for counters since you have to do hexadeck. Yes, that is very handy. Right about the lava beam Palette 2. Interesting. You did a patch me. Alright, thanks, Faro. You're using PS5 controller for like a month and a half straight and then switching back to Switch Pro. You want to play some Smash? The Switch Pro controller is so light compared. It's insane. Probably because it doesn't have all of like the motion sensing. I guess it does have motion sensing stuff. I don't know why it'd be so much lighter. Huh. It abuses a lot. It abuses an unintended behavior when hex numbers in decimal mode. Imagine so. Changing lava tiles to make use Palette Tool gives someone a look. Quicksand, that's what it could be. That's not what it looks like to me, but it could be. It's useful because it takes a few opcodes to identify Z-SNES. I would assume it's useful for more than that. Now, what was that mode? My plan is coming along. Since I couldn't merge the two kingdoms, what better way than to destroy it? Mario is in for a treat, Bowser. I assume it's, when you say decimal mode, it's using BCD, binary coded decimal, which was more or less like invented to make it easier to do, like, attach 7-segment displays to CPUs, if I recall correctly. At least I think that was one of the uses for it, because if you happen to wire it up just right, it works. Maybe you need some hands in there, I forget. It's been a long time since I've done any EE stuff. Any real EE. Putting things together. I missed one. Oh shoot. Wonder if I flew over it. Well, either way, we need to test the midway. And foreground palette 0. Feels so well built compared to the Switch Pro, and you thought the Switch Pro was pretty good? Huh, interesting. I don't think I've ever used... I guess I have used the PS5 controller at my sister's when I've been over there. We occasionally play Overcooked 2. I think we're close to the end of the game. At some point, we'll actually beat it. For incredibly silly reasons, we take turns reading the dialogue. One of us is the king, the other one's the dog. But we haven't failed to 3-star any of the things that we've gone through yet. Though several of them took many tries, because Overcooked is complicated and requires spinning many plates. No pun intended. Still looking for that other dragon coin. I'm gonna have to come back. The thing is, when you're not like trying to when you're not trying to like search specifically for things or do moderation stuff, these are a lot easier just to run through. I don't know why I'm getting more stars. I don't need them. They're just gonna make my problems later. Breaks Sunny-esque's code in x86 assembly and uses x86 decimal adjust opcode to implement it. Oh, okay. Time to go to bed. Good luck with the game. Alright, thank you very much, Memory Lane, for the raid, and hope you sleep well. I almost read that as uses SSE commands, and I was briefly very confused. His SSE was cool and all for 95. You know, it was no 3D now. Because those were immediate 3D instructions. But SSE certainly has come a long way since those days. SSE instructions do so much weird crap. Like, I'm fairly certain. Thanks for the follow. I'm fairly certain that there's probably like some, I don't know, there are some Turing-complete opcodes in there that aren't just move. It's already been proven that move in x86 is Turing-complete. If you're ever curious, you can look up move uskater, which is a compiler that compiles down to only x86 move instructions. It is a thing. A really, really weird thing. Or some people have a lot of time on their hands. Also, something like MMU faults or or Turing complete is another reasonable theory I think I've seen. Like, you get a lot of weird stuff in that in those fields of research. Oh yeah, I was gonna do a quick flyby, wasn't I? Because I'm not having any luck finding the last dragon coin. I'm certain past that two-tone pipe I looked pretty diligently. Oh, what's up, Scooter? How you doing? Yeah, it's going fine. Just doing some moderating, trying to figure out where... Oh, I turned around on accident. Wow, I almost did something cape that was good, but it was completely on accident and it wasn't. Yeah, I guess I actually don't need to complete the level. I'm just going to start select out of this if I can't find the dragon coin fast. I've already flown over all this, so I don't know where the dragon coin is. I'm just going to put a marker down to go and find it later. Jokes aside, the NES doesn't have stuff like push X, push Y, store, and your beloved is missing. XC6502 has it. I passed it. Where is it, out of curiosity, if you happen to know? How you doing, Brad Comp? Was in the skies of clouds. I probably looked away to read chat and thought I could get away with it. Well, fair enough. I will fly back into the sky and we'll find it. Mostly because I accidentally entered the stage. And I'm just a little bit too embarrassed to admit it. And then, you know, actually move along with my life. Okay, it was up here. Gotta actually pay attention this time. Yep, I totally missed that. I literally flew through it and didn't notice. See, that's the problem, I tell you, with trying to stream things and do things at the same time, is it often just results in not being very good at either. Especially when I have an active chat, and I'm not the best at reading chat. Part of the problem, of course, in my setup is, like, I have to look away from the screen to read chat. It is a problem, and I don't know if it's one I can easily fix. And come on in. You know, that was not a good place to slam. Absolutely not a good place to slam. That was a place to slam. Now, because of my inattentive slammage, I probably have to beat the level more legitimately than I normally want to. Yeah, that's right there, even. If I just jumped up near the midway, it would have been really easy to find. Thank you very much for saving me a lot of time and effort. And by that I mean I would have just, like, opened up in Lunar Magic after the stream. It really wouldn't have been that bad, but still, thank you for saving me the time and having to open it in Lunar Magic. I don't really like opening hacks in Lunar Magic, if I can avoid it. Just, I prefer to not know. There we go. Speaking of optimized, loops are incredibly useful for that. It's true. We're a nuisance? No, I'm just not very good at reading. Don't know how I'm keeping up. Not well, I can tell you. Just have chat on top of the game. I've thought about implementing that. That was on my list of things to do once, was to try to get like a Nico Doga style thing on screen. Oh, I should put a marker down to tell me to remove the prior marker. Remove the prior marker. On topic of the E command, you can modify the pitch of contents of the sound channel if you use it. The command is able to affect the pitch of sound effects. Interesting. I don't know what that means. Except I'm not good at sound. This all looks vaguely familiar, but I guess they all look kind of familiar after a point. Don't see how the background matches the foreground at all. Yeah, It happens sometimes, but the thing is, like, when it comes to moderation, I only really send things back if your palettes are really terrible, as in I can't see what's going on, or it makes me physically nauseous. And I've only ever done that once or twice when I was rejecting something for, you know, multiple reasons. I don't think I would ever send back a hack for bad palette unless it was really god-awful. And not, like, not intentionally god-awful, like QLDC Yump style, where someone's clearly, you know, having fun making a terrible palette for the sake of making your eyes bleed. Or possibly in a troll hack, I guess. I guess that'd be the other place I would give a complete excuse. This kind of looks like Game Boy the more I look at it, as opposed to something terrible. The layering problem. I don't think I get that. Woohoo! He did. Holes in the background. Yeah, slide tech is just too much fun not to exploit. Really? Alright. Dear, okay, that's a lot of lag. Did I get raided, or did I finally buy... Oh, goodness, no. You know I wouldn't buy users. Buying viewers would just be silly. What value would you get out of that? Also, like, buying people is weird. Even buying advertising is weird. It can be very ineffective. Like, when my startup was trying to buy ads forever ago, and not the one I work for currently, but one of the prior ones, we discovered that no matter what we told Facebook, they always gave us viewers from India. We're like, no, we're an American company focusing on American things. Having Indian people click on our ads is completely and utterly useless. It is actually a complete and utter waste of our money. But nope, Facebook and a Facebook, so it didn't actually help. Seizure-like inducing palette animation, yeah. That's the kind of thing I would reject for. The 3D conversations going on? Yes, there are. Ad fraud is a big thing. Oh, it's humongous. Like, there's lots of people at Google and Facebook and other people who, you know, center their lives around this stuff, trying to solve this problem, and they keep coming up with worse solutions. Like, Google Chrome's, like, verified operating system garbage, or verified browser garbage. Which, no. Nobody wants that. I mean, the advertisers want it, but nobody else wants it. Oh, oops, I fell in the drink. But it's not an easy problem to solve. It just isn't. But anyway, finishing that other thought. Fries, yes, Memory Lane raided me. And so now there's a larger number than usual of people watching me. I don't usually do numbers that are above 50 without a raid. Like, sometimes I'll get up to like 20 naturally, and I kind of like that. Sometimes if I'm doing like judging or playing QLDC levels. And sometimes moderating, you never really know. Just some people don't have other things to watch that day. And if I didn't put a marker down for this lag, I'm putting another marker down for this lag, because there's so much lag. Then, of course, there's stuff I do that I know nobody actually wants to watch. Oh, I got points I didn't want that. Did educational software a few months ago, and it started off strong with the Flowers of Robert Mapplethorpe and just kind of went downhill from there. But I still had fun. End up playing The Oregon Trail 2, which I thought had a lot more content in it. Because I definitely had that CD as a kid, and I didn't realize, like, all the NPCs say the exact same things every single time. Every time you see this dumbass kid, he says, "Which way's west?" And I'm like, kid, you're with a wagon train. You should know this. If you don't know this, then you have severe problems. That doesn't look right. Put a marker down for that stuff on the overworld. It might be correct, it might be stylistic, but it looks weird. Understand how advertising is still a thing? Like, no shot this stuff works on people? Oh, it totally works on people. Like, good advertising is actually very effective because someone has an immediate need and you might be able to fill it. For instance, let's say Google ads for plumbers in your area. When you need a plumber now, and you're not going to spend a whole lot of time saying, hey, buddy, you know, I've got this humongous water leak in my house. Could you recommend me a plumber? Like, nobody's going to take the time to comparison shop plumbers when, like, sewage is flowing into your house. So that's a case where advertising can work very well because it's well targeted. The problem is most ads nowadays are badly targeted because they go for large aggregate audiences as opposed to specific ones. Can't hit the one on the very left row. And you can, but it takes some doing. Don't put things in that very left row. Oh yeah, also this level has a lot of lag. Gonna put a marker for lag. Be curious to see if this is using fast ROM. Because I don't... Oh, I could barely see those. Because I don't think it is. Fast ROM can make up for an awful lot of other sins. Especially if you just want to be kind of lazy. Like, I think there is still, like, some sort of possible downside of turning on fast ROM, but I think the only case where it's really bad is if you want to convert to using SA1 after the fact, that things break. But you can avoid that problem by not doing that. Which is what I would recommend. Don't do that. Pick one or the other and stick with it and go for it. Okay. These things are really hard to see. Okay. This pipe is also very hard to see, but it's not, that got better contrast. Of course. Alright, so in the interest of not playing through the entire level again, let me show you another trick. I have tools for moderation. This is one of them. Because sometimes Mario just needs to die. Want to invest in the product less? Yes. Corporate FOMO, fear of missing out on advertising. There's lots of different kinds of advertising. Speaking of things in different countries, one of Indian nationals would eat cultured lab beef. Would that be cool in their society? You know, I don't know. That is an interesting question. How you doing, Nick Feynman? See you as a calm barb. Very fun takes on topics with perfectly lurking. I appreciate that. Good ads are rare. Yeah. I mean, good ads will actually be useful and you'll remember them and you'll buy the product. Sometimes ads can also be really useful when they're properly, like I said, targeting. So there used to be kind of a model where there were certain areas we'd expect to see advertising. So like if you're a fisherman, you buy like Fisherman's Quarterly to know more about fishing gear. And advertisements in that kind of medium would be very effective because they know you want to buy fishing gear because you're buying, you know, Fisherman's Quarterly. The problem is nowadays the ads are not targeted that well. Like you used to be able to do really good targeting by knowing where you were buying your ads, but now you basically bid on concepts. Add to the fact that we're no longer using text ads in a lot of places, but instead have long video ads that are just awful. And there's only like 4 of them in rotation for any given like period of time. Like when I still saw ads on Twitch, it was frequently like State Farm, Disney, and something else. And I'm like, I saw the same ads over and over and over and over. There was no variety in them. And so when you see the same ad over and over, even if you like the ad to start with, you're going to start getting some disdain for it. Though I will admit, I think there exists exactly one ad that, well, there's probably multiple ads that don't have this problem. But an ad that does not have this problem was the Miller Lite High Life commercial, which I'm quite distinctly remember from the Super Bowl because it was all of 1 second long and had a very happy black man saying, High Life! It was an effective commercial. I've never actually wanted Miller High Life, the champagne of beers, but, you know, effective commercial. I actually used that particular audio-video clip to test out some audio-video stuff I have behind the scenes that isn't actually used for Twitch, though it was built for Twitch. I had a plan to make a thing where people could sub out the music in Final Fantasy V, and yeah, that project completely died once I discovered how obnoxious Lua is. So I just completely gave up on that one. But anyway. Favorite was a camera ad where the kids are running towards a grassy field. You're a cannon fire, text them up, shoot it with a cannon. Okay, I like that. I like that. But if you had to watch that ad over and over, you'd probably like it less. which is kind of the frequent problem. That didn't help. I'm trying to think of any other like ads that I most quite distinctly remember and don't despise. Okay, that's enough of that little gauntlet. Gotta stop jumping on him. Now, ads for games could be effective. I don't know. Ads for events could be kind of nice. Like if there's a concert coming up. I know, like Paul McCartney came to town. I might be mildly interested in seeing him or something like that. I don't know. Movie trailers, I think, are probably a fairly effective form of ad. But then you get all those, like, medical ads, which is, you know, like, oh, look at all this kayaking I do, but I have herpes, but I have it under control because I have this product. And you're like, thanks? That's what I wanted to know about your life? And they always do the same thing. I don't know why it's always kayaking or mountain biking or something. It's always some sort of outdoor activities that, like, I mean, herpes are bad, but they're not going to really interfere with your life if you just do that kind of thing. I don't know. So anyway. Oh crap, I'm far behind again. Have to patch this in with the clean ROM, by the way, so if you already made a hack and has slowdown issues, you just use fast ROM? Yes, definitely. Furniture ads, that's interesting. Get targeted ads, I don't really care. How you doing, Raphael Football? Nobody else, but you're sick of the song and ROM hacks? Yeah, I honestly don't pay that much attention to the music in these things, Scooter. Don't want to give the boat an STD. Good advice. Taco Bell commercials sometimes get you? Okay, that's fair. I will admit the Chihuahua was fairly effective as a Taco Bell commercial when that was still a thing. Yeah, Taco Bell actually had pretty good commercials. There was like an advertising agency that was really good that like all of the fast food people were using for a little bit. I think they came up with like the creepy Burger King ads and was it Taco Bell, McDonald's, Burger King? I forget who. The Subservient Chicken, which was this early viral website where you could type in things for this chicken to do, and then he would do them, which was really cool for the time. Of course, nowadays we all know that it just loaded different Flash videos, and they just kind of made good guesses about which things you'd want to ask the chicken to do, and then proceeded to also like block off a non-trivial number of verbs behind a "No, I'm not doing that, you naughty boy" thing. So, he wants Taco Bell. Nah, yo quiero Taco Bell. Live Moss for Taco Bell. That is ain't lame. Early innovation before OnlyFans. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, Sonic 3 boss theme. One of them. They have like a different ones in just Sonic 3 and Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Lemmy Koopa of Castle Number 2 is no more. Bowser is getting more and more desperate. Onward to Chemical Island. Oh my. Speaking of Sonic things, that could easily be a Sonic 2 thing. $2K away from VIP. Oh, you'll get it soon. Yeah, Chemical Island is not a bad name. I mean, Chemical Brothers, I think, were pretty good. Now, maybe I'm thinking of someone else. Chemical Brothers had a good name. Don't remember if their music was any good now I think about it. I think I might have downloaded like one track, but it might have come through one of the weird peer-to-peer things. I don't know where I got it from. The period between Napster and torrents was a weird time for sharing music. And peer-to-peer stuff in general. I think those are going to hurt me. I was right, those hurt me. It's worth knowing that the pawns will hurt you. This background is quite something. Looks almost like a digitized photo. I wonder what it's from. Oh, those things, they hurt me, right. I just learned that. That was the thing you learned, Pat. Whenever I see these yellow stripes, it reminds me of the Commander Keen levels that use them. If I was going to hide a secret, it would be down here. But apparently they didn't. Do pill bugs. Chemical plant zone coming up. That's what I'd expect, but definitely not. Yep. Sometimes I need a reminder what I just learned. You know, like a pop quiz or something. Not convinced that was the best use of my shell there. These levels don't tend to have a lot of verticality. Okay, he got stuck there. Aren't I on the East Coast? No, I'm on the West Coast. I was on the East Coast when I was just about a week ago. I came back on Tuesday of last week. I live on the West Coast, but I was visiting family and doing things on the East Coast, including streaming. I need to die anyway. This is perfect. Set up Gamba so you can give Far Out 2K. Tempting. Tempting. I haven't used the gambling thing for a while. I think Fisk... No, I think... I guess, yeah, Hallowalluta set up a... When I gave Hallowalluta a sword for a little bit during Dark Souls, he set up a thing asking, like, will Pat get the boss this try? And the answer was no. Yeah, it's nice to be back. It's pretty frequent that I do relatively long trips outside of the state. And in fact, I might have to do... In fact, I might have to do a short trip outside of the state soon. Because I want to get Global Entry, which is this thing that lets you just kind of breeze through. Cut off into the pipe. Pond. There's cut off around all these pipes. Lets you have shorter lines when going through customs and places. But it also comes with TSA pre-check, which is the real reason I want to get it. Because I'm tired of getting pat-downs. And it'd be nice to go through the airport in a much more fast and convenient way. But all of the places near me, because you have to go do an interview for it, are completely booked up forever. But there's a couple of places in Canada that aren't. And Seattle is only about a 2-hour, 3-hour drive from Canada, depending on traffic. And so I could easily just breeze up to Canada for a day or so and do this. It looks like my options are Vancouver and, if I so choose, Victoria. And Victoria is kind of interesting because I could take the Victoria Clipper, take the boat, have a nice boat time. Because boats are fun. But haven't made a decision on that front. Need to pick a weekday or weekend to do it. Yeah, I put a note down for the Piranha Plant getting stuck. Like, so far, there's just a bunch of, like, small things. Like, I'm up to 25 markers, which isn't great, but most of them are things like two-tone pipes, Piranha Plants getting stuck, lag. Like, nothing actionable so far. And I guess not being able to see those pallets all that well. That was weird. Like, nothing here I would reject for. Like, there's some cutoff here, too. Cutoff around these blocks. You can kind of see it. Especially on those pipes to the right where I died. Which is why I died, to show that off. But again, it's not because of small amounts of cutoff. You'd only do this for egregious amounts of cutoff. So these are all, like, small touches. But I still need to find out if I can actually get away with using the Canadian office for it, because I don't know if I can. And I'd rather find out first before driving to Canada. So I'll simply call them and find out. And then, you know, assuming I pass the interview, I get my known traveler number and I land on Pawns. Bam, done. No moderators used to take cutoff very seriously. Used to. How seriously I take it nowadays? It would take an awful lot of cutoff for me to reject a hack solely based upon the cutoff. Like, I think the situation, if I'm going to have to come up with a fantasy one, would be something like you have... I need to stop grabbing those. It'd be something like a relatively short demo that has just a ridiculous amount of cutoff and other problems. Like, a rejection on purely aesthetic basis requires an awful lot of bad aesthetic problems. At least in my mind. Right, this is the right way to use pipes, or shells, I forgot about this. I'm gonna just walk this one in. Oh, I hate bullet bill spawners. Gotta bail. Gotta call in for work tomorrow. Alright. See you later. I will one day gain mastery of your name. Or I will ask very politely for a nickname and hopefully remember it. Though I will admit names are one of my bigger weaknesses. Intriguing. I thought that wouldn't be solid. That's just a weird tile to have there. I think it's transparent. Okay. So what are we looking at here? V works, it's another V's. I actually have a friend, or had a friend in college whose name was V, which was short for Vyacheslav. He was a guy from Croatia, and thought that Vyacheslav was too difficult for people to pronounce, so he just decided that he would go by V. Which is surprising, because as far as, like, Slavic names go, Vyacheslav is not a terribly difficult one to pronounce. I mean, it's no Ivan, but still. But sure, I am perfectly happy to call you V. That works for me. At least until there are multiple V's, in which case we have a namespace conflict. Which is the worst kind of well, one of the worst kinds of conflict. I don't want to do this one twice. Especially when I have to yield my power-ups. At least we seem to be out of the bad water zone. Oop. Okay, fine, I'll make a marker for the two-tone pipe. And then get hit by the thing. Boop. Once again, Charge and Chucks aren't real sprites, and so they do weird things. Thankfully, also, the goalpost is not a real pipe. There was some lag back there. How intentional the pipes are? I don't think they're intentional. Like, I would be shocked if there are. Like, there's only one or two... Like, I could... Again, unless you're making, like, Yump style or, I didn't die, crap. Yump style. There's a couple other types where, like, someone's going for a really, like, old school thing. Like, I know Glitchcat did this with Breakfast Kaizo too, but he was going for a very specific styling. And so it's more forgivable. Here, though, we can quite clearly see that that's really not what he's going for. So... Anyway, we're just gonna check the, midway. I really would have preferred to have done the second half of the level instead of the first half again. But mistakes were made. But not terribly bad ones. This could be worse. Oh, and the other one that I know wasn't intentional, but Barb is apparently colorblind, and so there was one pipe in, I want to say, Pooh's Laughter House in Grand Pooh World 2 that was two-toned, but it was because Barb can't tell green and blue apart. Which, you know what? Fair? Don't know how to edit map 16 yet. Most palette issues with weird gut discolorations can be fixed by editing map 16. Interesting. Makes sense. Map 16 controls so much of the blocks. In fact, I believe it controls all of the blocks. That makes perfect sense. If you're gonna give me this, I'm gonna want the cape. If you give a Mario a cape, He's gonna want a glass of milk. Okay, here I think the getting stuck is actually a good thing. I think that's an intentional design choice. Maybe. It could be, at least. Oh, it's bugging me. I'm going to put a marker down. When you can make custom pipe tiles, the color change is enforced by the pipe object. Ah, interesting. Little pipes like that, just a pixel or two cut off on the side. You can't fix that with map 16. You have to edit the graphics file. There's a great number of things that I don't know all that much about how to fix. I used map 16 once. It was an overrated experience. No, it was perfectly fine, just I'm not very fast or... Oh, that's a... I can never see these pawns. His pipe cut off. They're giving a lava a better thing. Yeah, the color of the lava was terrible. I have my impolite interpretation of what it was, and I am not going to share it. But I get the feeling this guy's done a non-trivial amount of hacking, because he's made 3 of these. This is the 3rd one, and I initially thought it was some sort of weird gag where he, you know, made a game that didn't exist. A sequel to a game that didn't exist. Oh my. Like, Leisure Suit Larry did. Those blocks are really hard to see. I guess this as an explanation to what I'm doing here. So one of the things that I do when moderating is I use Twitch markers to actually keep track of where bad things happen, and that's why I say, you know, I'm going to put a marker down and then explain what the problem was. So that in the future, i.e. like tomorrow or the day after, I can run through the VOD and quickly find all of the issues and do this. It's a bit more complicated because I switched from doing it raw with Twitch markers to using YouTube markers with a complicated system doing a lot of stuff between here and there. But the principle is the same, just YouTube has a better player. It was totally worth all the effort because YouTube has a better player. It also means I don't have to take screenshots anymore. Taking screenshots used to be one of my least favorite things about moderating. Now I just link to timestamps in the video and it's so much easier. And most people, as it turns out, like to see people play their hacks, even if they reject them. So it's more useful for more people, I suppose. Of course, the system also powers an awful lot of other stuff behind the scenes. It just happens to work incidentally very well for those features. Happy little accidents. There've been a lot of happy little development accidents that have occurred on this stream. Or while I've been making tech for stream. There we go. No, I'm not recording directly to YouTube while I stream. You can export the streams to YouTube, and I used to do that occasionally. But now I have a really complicated system that actually takes into account hack changes by looking for when I use the hack command, title and game changes, and then it cuts the VODs up that I take locally and uploads them to YouTube. And then it does a bunch of timestamp magic to make sure that all of the comments, and then it puts a comment in the YouTube video so that all of the timestamp markers match up. There's an awful lot of weird time math involved in this. It's been a long set of building to make all this work consistently, but now that it works consistently, it's basically bulletproof. I don't have to worry too much about it. I do worry about running out of quota some days, but nothing you can do about running out of quota. Except ask YouTube for more quota, and they're not going to give it to me. I would have to come up with a presentation demonstrating why I deserve more quota, and so I can upload more Mario levels to YouTube faster is not a really good one. Let's be smart about this. But yeah, there's a lot. I did a C3 thread about this last year, maybe this year? I might have done something for a Winter C3 for it. I forget, I'd have to look it up. But that's the last thread that wasn't a rejection that I've made on SMW Central. Because I basically never make threads and never post on forums except to reject things on SMW Central, and occasionally on C3 to bump people's threads who I really whose work I enjoy. Dropped right there. Dropped note block. What's up, Steven? How you doing? That's what you thought we make by making markers down? Yeah, no. I'm not recording directly to YouTube. I think that'd be in violation of my Twitch affiliate agreement, which states that I will not show. Well, I will not put recordings of things, publish recordings to other places. I actually ran this past my sister and got some not legal advice, which was. I suspect there's supposed to be a thwomp there. Want to be a forum guy but you get nervous? I don't know. I had my time on internet forums. I'm more or less done with that. There was a time when I cared a lot. I do not care a lot anymore. Alright, let's see if I can die quickly in this boss. We got Mouser! We can't die quickly to Mouser. In fact, the easiest way to die to Mouser is just going to be standing around. Doing okay? How am I? I'm doing good. Just been doing some moderating stuff, got some YouTube stuff done, other things today. Took a really chill day. Kind of wanted to get some stuff done yesterday, but had a bad hangover because I spent too much time hanging out both before and after the rock show. But it was nice. Good show. The guys got more time to play there than they usually do, the whole 2 hours. Saw one of the earlier bands, and they had, like, a concept that just didn't work. I don't even remember what it was, but it just was bad, unfortunately. I think their stuff was also set way too high, so no one could actually hear them properly. That's a frequent problem with, like, live shows. Bad sound, unfortunately. I knew there was supposed to be a thwomp there. But no, the worst part was I woke up Sunday morning with my annoying hangover to the dulcet sounds of my fire alarm letting me know that I don't have enough battery for it. And there was nothing I could do about it. Nerds go crazy when you post for C3. Forums feel very official. I think there's kind of a generational cutoff. Forums are more the norm, so you put your markers down on Twitch. Did you go on Twitch? Yes. So Twitch has the marker things. If you notice on like the stream dashboard, there's the add marker button. I use the add marker button constantly. And so the markers are put down on Twitch. Then afterwards, my script pulls all the markers and figures out all the timestamp stuff to make things work correctly and posts it as a comment on YouTube. At which point I go through the comment, you know, clarifying what is what in each of the markers and going from there. There's a 24-hour time limit, but I don't worry about the uploading part. So I ran it past, like I said, I ran it past my sister's a lawyer who gave me not legal advice. And the word most distinctly is publish, I believe, at least the time of the affiliate agreement I agreed to. And because the word was publish, which seems to infer that it's publicly available, I do upload them early, but I don't let anyone else see them. And so I think I'm skirting the letter, if not the intent of the law, correctly. But again, what she gave me was not legal advice, because I didn't pay for it, and her per hour for legal advice is a lot higher than I can afford, or want to afford, so. Forms are nicer for accessing things instead of sticking on Discord. Yes, having it be searchable is really nice. Switch to YouTube. Yeah, so I just switched to using YouTube when I was actually pulling down the markers to write that. That's all that means. Imagine knowing a programming language that can actually be practical in your everyday life. I mean, 6502 is used somewhere. Publish is a better way of standing it. Yeah. Thanks for the G's. Your understanding as well. Yes. So that's the reason I'm okay with this. I would prefer it if I could keep the YouTube things private in case someone can guess the URLs or something, which they can't anymore. It turns out YouTube actually had a short period of time where you could guess URLs, which is really interesting because you wouldn't expect that, but you could for a short period of time. But if you make a VOD private, it doesn't let you see the existing comments on it, and so it defeated the whole purpose of it. I don't know why. It seems really stupid, but that's how they've implemented it, so you just can't see them. They're still there. And in fact, I use, for my other side of the YouTube stuff, the actual, like, uploading part More pipe cutoff. That's for the like actual management side of things. I always set my videos to private before they go into the ready queue, just to make my life a little bit easier, so I can know what's unprocessed and what isn't. Things that are unlisted are either things I want to eventually put on the YouTube channel, or things that are never going on the YouTube channel. I need to make them private, and that helps me keep track of which things are which. So, for instance, Dark Souls. All the Dark Souls VODs are currently unlisted, but they need to be privated eventually once I edit them down, which basically just means remove bathroom breaks and cut off a bit at the front and end, and give them markers and give them chapter markers, so people know when I beat up Sif. Which I don't think was actually necessary in retrospect, but I get the feeling I'm killing a lot of things in Dark Souls unnecessarily. In fact, I think that's pretty much all I accomplished last time, was pissing off people who I probably shouldn't have pissed off. I killed the Dark Moon guy, and then I killed the Crossbreed gal. All in all, I just did a lot of killing, and I didn't really make any didn't accomplish any progress in terms of like moving the plot forward, I don't think. Somewhere. Since when does YouTube notify subs about private videos when they get unprivate? I don't believe they do. I don't believe people get notified. It's more that I use it for tracking things. But I legit don't know. Now that you say it, I'm very curious. But since I usually move from... I pretty much just go between unlisted and private. And once something's public, I don't think... I've never taken anything down that was already public. Like, I haven't yet. I imagine that the day will come where someone's, like, very politely asks me to remove something, and I might be okay with it. But I don't foresee that moment anytime soon. But that's pretty much the only reason I would remove a public YouTube video, because I actually have to go, you know, do work to put those things up there. Simple directories with basic web pages are the best. That is true 100%. Imagine games having plot. Didn't even get... Yeah, I know! I showed it to my little brother, and he's like, yeah, you smacked her in the face. I'm like, no, that sure looks like I was aiming for her tail. I found the actual frame. Yeah, the hitbox for the tail's a lot further down her butt. Or a lot further down the tail than I was expecting. And then she turned friggin' invisible. It's kind of hard to cut something off someone's butt when they're invisible, just saying. I got tired of looking at feet. That was the other thing. That is, I am not a foot fetishist. I am not interested in looking at feet the entire game. But I'm happy with my axe until I find a better axe. I think I've decided I'm just sticking with axes unless there's a really good reason not to. And there's probably a really good reason not to, but I'm not going to find it out until after I beat the game. Someone's going to tell me, like, you know, Pat, if you just switched to swords, you would have had a way better sword just by, like, existing. Interesting. Can I get on top of this? I can. Can I softlock myself in here? Hasn't come up yet, because I haven't been able to actually get on top of levels without serious effort. It's the first time I've been put in very, very close proximity to the ceiling. Fun fact, you continue flying after you let go of this, which means I'm having a little bit of trouble getting off this thing. Okay, so I can't softlock with that spot. Well played, at least. You probably shouldn't have this available, but as long as it's in softlock, I don't care. Put ceilings on your levels, kids. Or else you'll have a speedrun like Cookie World 1 where people just run over half of your level. Speaking of pissing people off, you want TF2 under the alias of Furyu. Oh, your guy was beautiful. The sheer amount of people who are genuinely pained stop you for simply existing with that name. That's impressive. Leave a marker for the weird graphical look on that's on the note blocks and leave us. Yes, I have at least one of those for that. Here's about everything I need to mark. I mark anything I find unusual. If I see something that doesn't look right, I put a marker down. That's just my philosophy. And then at the end, I weigh it all, you know, like the Egyptian god Nat, I think. Something about feathers and scales. And decide whether or not to reject. And there's certain things that are automatically rejects. Soft locks. 100%. Actually, now I just noticed. The music in this level is louder than the ones in the other levels. Basically, I do what I would do if I was giving it a thorough test. Like, as a general philosophy, I think that this is sort of a form of acceptance testing. And so every single thing I find, I notate down. Regardless of whether or not it's actually in the rules or not. It's the kind of thing I would want to have access to in the event that that I was having someone doing this to my hack. I don't know. Also, I'm kind of surprised that were they actually on mic, Faro, or were they just typing in chat? Because, like, I kind of feel the era of people talking in video games ended at a certain point. And most of the time I spent in TF2 was not with people who were actually still mic'd up. It was mostly with just typing text in chat. Because usually if they were going to talk, they were talking in, like, vent calls with their friends or whatever the hell people used for that short period of time before Discord. That was an unnecessarily tall bullet bill thingy. Ah, if I'd been coming a little bit higher. Ever since you got an EAW profile picture, now people question your life choices increased by 200%. Interesting. What is an EAW? Both got kicked from various games purely based on the name alone. Wow. Now, I'll be honest, I do like TF2-based name trolling. I had a great time on, I think it was actually, maybe it was an official Valve server. Went on to a server and found someone whose name was Guns A-Blazin'. And so I decided I would change my name to Buns A-Glazin'. And he got pissed off for a minute that I'd stolen his name. And then someone else pointed out, no, he hasn't stolen your name. His name's different. It's Buns. He's like, oh, that name's awesome! So that was actually pretty fun. Also used to troll people with, I only Uber S classes. So I would only Uber classes if they started with the letter S. Which, as you might not know from playing TF2, that's Scout, Soldier, Spy, and Sniper. And you don't Uber most of those classes. Ubering a Spy is utterly pointless, typically. Ubering a Sniper is usually counterproductive. Soldier is not a bad Uber target, and Scout can be a good Uber target. But the other ones are all terrible. What? Did that just work the way I thought it did? Where the skulls fell through the level? Is that what I just saw? I think it was. I'm putting a marker down and we're going to reinvestigate that, because that's clearly a problem. That probably comes from not using the right kind of water. There's many different kinds of water in SMW, I think. And some of them don't have collision. Some of them have collision with Mario, but don't have collision with, like, Koopas. And so you get, like, weird effects going on. But there's a reason I'm bringing a cape into this. I want to be sure in what I... Hey, those are semi-solids. Also, that pipe is two-tone down there. Yep, 100% it's falling through the level. Okay. Well, we have a solution to this, so we can still at least make forward progress, which is I have a cape. I just have to pray that I don't run into any blocks. But yeah, that's a problem. A really weird to have problem, honestly. Four before the midway. This isn't a castle level, is it? Oh, crap. Nope. Okay, cool. Everything's fine now. Dang bullet cluster spawner. Okay, that's my midway. Well, good timing on that. Bad timing on the other thing. I feel this from like some puzzle game. Fez or something. Now there's like one game I wish I could erase all my memories of and play again from scratch, it might actually be Fizz. Phil Fish is still an asshole, but damn, that game is excellent. Well, that solves that problem. Good lift. Yeah, I got lucky. How you doing, Apps Index? Little Pony mod for Hearts of Iron 4. Interesting. Never seen that happen. Most people calling you a dirty imperialist and the revolution will overthrow you one day. Just how many people were getting pissed off until I took the name trolling to the next level, got cropped furry, and soon, yeah, your icon. Made a bind that told everyone in chat exactly what your icon was, and it only got worse. It was genuinely beautiful. Not usually for pissing people off, but you couldn't resist. Should make a traditional hack sometime. That'd be kind of fun. Tile 4 is lava for sprites, but water for Mario, and Tile 5 is the opposite. That's probably what happened. Cave lava for those lifts, that's probably the problem. Got stuck in Fez and never went back. That's a shame. So something that means this hack will get directed? I'm not sure. That's definitely closer at this point. Took the name trolling so far. You're shocked some people couldn't tell as a joke. Fair. I mean, free-to-play audiences aren't always the most clever of people. Well, I guess when people are talking to you, they're not free-to-play on TF2, isn't that the case? Because you don't get chat if you're not free to, unless you pay money to some extent. So there's another possibility beyond rejecting, and this is something that I think happens a lot more with like the Kaizo people. But I do it occasionally, is when I find like one or two things I really just want fixed, I'll just send them a message on SMW Central or Discord saying, hey, your hack's basically perfect, or at least decent enough. Here are my notes. You have a few small problems, but this is the one I care about. You have a soft lock here, fix it. Or even in a few instances where I found like literally one thing, I've just gone and fixed it. There's been a few times when I've done that. It doesn't happen too often, but like something that just irks me, like you have your goalpost one tile too high or something. Oh, let's go fix it. I've seen how the people exist online. We're at a point where you can't really tell what's supposed to be ironic or not. Yup. Interesting. Definitely starts off Morton's Castle-esque. I wonder if we'll see the vertical room. I love the vertical room so much. And everybody loves number 3, Morton's Castle. Point of advice. Find the right path in each section to progress through the castle. Oh, we're doing this gimmick? Oh, we're not doing this gimmick. We're doing something weirder. Okay. This one is number 3. Morton's Castle is number 2 in normal SMW. I know this very well. Ask me why. But this is fine. I need to test all the pipes anyway. So even if this is the correct one, we may have to go back and try again. I get the feeling that none of the pipe exits are going to be the right one. Which means this is not as much of a maze as I thought. Not worth rejecting a resource for something tiny has to be both bad for the mod to write a rejection log and bad for the author has to upload the resource. Yeah. No chemical plant zone. I have threatened to reject hacks for very dumb reasons, but I've never actually done so. That would be one. Oh, I think that was it. It was, what was it? The name of that hack was something Wendy's. And I'm like, look, you don't even have hot drinks in this. How can you not, and you don't even fight Wendy. How can this be a trip to Wendy's if you don't fight Wendy or have hot drinks? It just doesn't make sense. And of course, you know, I didn't reject for that. I rejected because there were, I think there were a few soft locks. Okay, well, that's the correct way, I'm pretty sure. Nope. Take pipe. See where it takes me. No. I'm happy I did this. I could die there? I think I tried to. Feel free to use yours as a joke. I might. Oh yeah, jump at the small gap. I could die there, that's true. I'm not going to complain about that. Like, that's very much a, if I wanted to, I could die there. no one is going to, like, intentionally do that and not at least find it kind of funny. Just because, like, anyone who thinks about that, who thinks to do that, probably knows the trick already. At least I would hope. But it doesn't soft lock you. It's very much just an idiot tax. I think I'm okay with that. But yeah, Fez was cool. And you don't need that much to beat the game, you just need a lot to complete the game. And I love any game that will make me get out pad and paper. I will admit, I am a sucker for that. To be fair, my notes are usually illegible, but I still appreciate it. Wait, did I get teleported back to the beginning of the game? Oh, right, I did the bottom one, then you do the middle one. Okay, I know where I am. And I'm glad the timer is set high enough that I can get away with this. Got a story? I'm interested. I said before, if you forgot, you guys are not supposed to edit, or not allowed to edit hacks, because SM mods can type. No, we're allowed to edit hacks. Absolutely allowed to edit hacks. Like I said, I have edited hacks just lightly in the past when there's been like one thing that needs fixing. Especially one thing I know that's not going to break the game too badly. Hello, Purple Sun. How you doing? Or Purple Sun, I think. So in those cases, it's just good because like we're not wasting people's time. It's one thing. I'd rather not do a whole go back and forth and try to convince someone to fix something while I can just like literally just go do it myself and it'll take all of a minute. And I think the same goes for like graphics and ASM mods. Like if someone's missed an RTL or something, you just put the RTL there. If there's a pixel that's off, just fix the pixel. It just saves everyone a lot of time. I mean, let them know you did this, which I think I usually do. But beyond that, is there an easy way for me to... I don't think there's any useful pits, are there? Oh, here's a bit. Is this a ROM? Yes, it's a ROM hack of SMW. It's called Super Mario Legends 3 Bowser's Last Stand. It's a hack that the author submitted to SMW Central, and I am moderating it, which means I'm doing a form of quality assurance that makes sure that it demonstrates that it's up to snuff. It's not exactly the most hardcore of things checking. Like, for instance, I could be mad about these unlit candles, but I'm not going to be. But it is a form of assurance, so it's just good to get done. There's also way too many exits left in the queue, mostly because of that really stupid troll hack. And by that I mean not like a hack that is flagged miscontrol, but quite literally a hack that looks like it's been uploaded as a troll that claims to have 2,023 exits. Which I think is not the case. Unless Alex has already rejected it. I think he was going to do that this afternoon. Boop. Goodbye, Morton. Okay. Yeah, same dealio with rejecting the thing because of something minor. Yeah. Okay, a programmer walks into a bar, dances into the bar, falls into the bar, shovels into the bar, and orders 1 beer, 2 beer, 0 beer, 99 beers, -1 beers. Testing complete. The customer walks into the bar and asks where the toilet is. The bar goes up in flames. Yup. Testing! What, really? The 2,023 exits? Yeah, someone's doing something silly. I think all they did was change a couple pallets. Okay, Mario wasted no time in taking out Morton Koopa Jr. How far will Bowser go, ending the world? Mario chases him through the dangerous Chaos Highways. Yeah, we're definitely Sonicking now. Love to make a hack focused around Bowser Jr. What would that mean, effectively? Like, we say focused around Bowser Jr., you mean like the sprite? Or just the concept of Bowser Jr. in terms of plot? You play as Jr.? Okay, that could be kind of cool. Probably a bit like Morton's Empire. This area is infested with charging chucks. I must thread carefully if I'm gonna catch up with Bowser. It's a good time to point out that Mario's voice actor, as of like today, has retired from voice acting Mario. Unfortunately. It happens though, you can only do those voices for so long. Don't know what Disney's gonna do once Jim Cummings... Holy shit, that goes fast! Once Jim Cummings gets a bit too old to do all the voices he does. Because he's already no spring chicken. Oh, we're even using this kind of design. I'm gonna have to go back and forth to see all the things. Isn't this Stardust Speedway? Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is Stardust Speedway. Also, pretty sure there's a better version of this on SMW Central. Yep, now we finally have it. Waiting patiently for the no-face hack. There. I also destroyed the universe at least twice. Don't play Sonic games, but... Don't play Sonic games. I mean, you don't gotta play all the Sonic games, but you should play Sonic Mania, if you're given the opportunity. Because Sonic Mania is, like, the best Sonic game that's come out in, like, the last, God, 10 years. It has it all. You might be thinking I'm exaggerating, but no, it's got everything you want in a Sonic game. Except maybe, you know, a plot and additional furry women. But, you know, you can only do so much for, you know, every audience. Stop! Mario at all cost. Chucks. Once Bowser's gone, the world will see why I should reign supreme. The end is near. Crap. Alright, so here's what I'm thinking, Faro, is I'll get to the end of this world, and then I'll pull up your hack. Because that'll be around when I think I want to finish anyway. Given that sounds good, otherwise I can hold on to it for later. Key of Death. I need to read the rest of the conversation on this to make any sense of that. Alright. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go through this one backwards. Dang it, I didn't want any points. Sonic Mania has everything, but Tails Flicky Army of Death. Okay, fine. Is Sally a squirrel or a chipmunk? I believe she's a squirrel. I'll use Sonic Spinball. No, no thank you. No. Sonic 2, 3, Advance, and Mania. Those are all good choices. I think, honestly, Mania is just the best one. They took an awful lot of the good ideas that were in all the other Sonic games and put them into a good 2D Sonic game. The Advance games were good, I remember, but I thought some of the bosses were kind of lame. It brought in the running boss concept, which got old after a while. Sonic 2 is good, Sonic 3 is good, add on Knuckles if you want. I've kind of cooled on and Knuckles, Sonic 3 and Knuckles, because I think that like the boss design in the later half just gets kind of bad. Like, it's very much just a puzzle boss, figure out the way to wait out the boss, and then you win, as opposed to, I need to do something smart here and get my hits in when I can, style of bosses. And I don't like that nearly as much. But Lava Reef Zone's cool. Oh, this is definitely Stardust Speedway. The fuck just happened? Putting a marker down. Okay, so what did I do to cause that? Alright, well, wasn't that. Is he boopable? He is boopable. Something really weird happened there. Not really a Kaizo guy. Not terribly. I really should actually get some, like, go do some Kaizo stuff from time to time. I want to check something out. We're going to set up something real quick. Just make this one command. There we go. Maybe you got into the cloud and something messed up. That's my theory, so far. A little mix of studio... Oh, wait. What? That didn't work. Why didn't that work? There we go. Well, I can repro it. Did your own mix of Studiopolis one on YouTube? Even Lee Topes helped it? That's amazing, yeah. I'd love to hear that if you wouldn't mind sending it over. Send me a link, I want to hear that. So, okay, if I kill Lakitu via different mechanisms, the game pushes me out of the world and I die. I'm definitely getting to some sort of rejectable territory here. Yeah, just drop a link. Okay, so apparently getting in the cloud kills you, which is a really... Like, I want to see if I can kill him without getting in the cloud. Nope. Yeah, I will double check this after the fact. That it happens without any of, like... Because there's a small amount of stuff I do change in the ROM, but it's only a very small amount in very specific places. And I doubt that causes this, but when it comes to weird glitches like this, I want to be absolutely certain. But that is fucking weird. I wish I could find a throwable object so I could see if we can spawn it without it breaking we can spawn the cloud. And make sure it's getting in the cloud that's causing it. But also, I do note that he doesn't have any Koopas or other throwable objects in this level. I think he might be aware of this. And tried to mitigate it somewhat. It's like, this place is empty except the single Lakitu. So I'm actually a bit confused. Also, there have been no dragon coins. It all together just seems to be weird. I'm gonna take the high road first. I'll take the low road next time, I guess. Like, I don't think I despawned the dragon coins, if there were any. Don't twirl the cape. Wait a second, I have a way of doing this. What am I saying? Okay, let's go set this up properly. Okay, so I should be able to get the cloud to spawn independently. There we go. We now have a cloud. Now I get in the cloud, and it works fine. I'm even more confused than when I started, honestly. Like, I am actually confused at this point as to what the hell is going on. But still, no dragon coins. I think there was a midway, so I guess we'll die once we see there's no dragon coins. Yep, no dragon coins. Weird. Maybe code meant to reposition Lakitu at the midway. And C1 to snap a layer back for that. Gen the location at the pace. Possibly. Time to look into the stream debugger. If you want to, I would love to know, and I'm certain the guy who built the hack wouldn't mind that extra information. Like, knowing how something's fucked up is often useful when you want to fix it. Now, I'm kind of curious if this happens at the midway too, or just with that first Lakitu interaction. Because, man, I am confused. But yeah, I will try to repro that later after stream when I go through this. Because like I said, I always go back through when I come across something like that to make sure it is not my system doing that. Let me open that up to listen to later. I'm not set up well to listen to things on stream. So I'm definitely going to have to listen to that. All right. No. Chaos Highway... Right. Chaos Highway 3. That is the correct one. Do you want an SRAM that'll get you closer to that? Because I can hand you one of my SRAMs, it'll take all like a minute. Because I back up my SRAMs every 5 minutes. There's a good reason for this. A really good reason for this. It's just something most people don't ever think about doing or have to do. I guess you can just load into that level manually. Same sort of deal. You're a clever fellow, you'll figure it out. Just edit the ROM to put Mario on the tile, yep. Yeah, no problem. I just have so many SRAMs to give. No, as part of chat hacks, I implemented SRAM saving because people kept nuking SRAM and putting me back at the very beginning of the world in the game, and I got tired of that, so SRAM saving has actually helped me out a lot for moderation purposes and other things. Of course, on SA1 it doesn't work perfectly, but it works well enough. It's really funny to actually load the SRAM because it ends up loading up the BW RAM. BW and IRAM. I forget exactly which one it is. It loads up some funny classes of RAM, and because of that, there's lag. It messes with the runtime, the SA1 runtime, and like usually transports Mario to some level he isn't expecting to be in, and drops him into a pit. This happens surprisingly frequently when I do that, but SA1 doesn't come up often. I generally don't have to do this for SA1 either. And also, it recovers after I reload a save. And that's the key to the whole thing. Oh, I'm gonna try the lower path too, aren't I? There's lots of slopes to slope down. Back up and work RAM, BW RAM, thank you. Which one's IRAM then? Was I is the internal RAM to the SA1 that isn't visible, isn't it? There we go. This has come up when I was doing some Mario RPG rando stuff. Direct page is mapped to that. IRAM is fast, that's why. It makes sense. There's no bus congestion for it either, I believe. It's the one thing I learned about hardware is that, in general, you want to keep your buses moving as quickly as possible, and if you can't, throw queues on things. But having to argue priority-wise kind of sucks because you can end up with starvation issues. Just the nature of hardware, though. Perfect. Actually, very perfect. I got exactly the right number. I'll roll back to 0. Dang it. So close, yet so far away. Right, I didn't check that was working, but that's good. There's a counter break in this section to stop you from bringing other power-ups from other levels, so they were aware of the bug. But I could clearly bring in the power-up, right? But this was level 2, so if I walk back over here, I still have Cape. I came in with Cape. Like, I could totally understand that, except it didn't work. Does not happen for you when you twirl it? I assume you're on BSNES. Or Hygen, or whichever one. Like I said, I'll check to make sure that none of my stuff interfered with it. It might be like just a weird interaction bug between something. So I'll check after the stream. I mean, at some point after the stream, not directly after the stream, because I'll probably just go to bed. But when I'm running through my my markers, I'll go and check for that, because that's just weird. I guess I'm going in this pipe. New mean counter break not working. The Bane bug does work. Oh, okay. Interesting. Also, I just couldn't resist doing the stupid trick. It's kind of fun to use pipes to do evil things. Yeah, I'm surprised the counter break didn't work. That was terrible. Yeah, I don't think anything I do should affect counter break stuff, but it's possible. I'm thinking... No? No, I still don't think there's anything I'm doing that should affect that. It could be that my free space mapper still isn't right. It has been an issue that I'm aware of, but I tend to be more wrong for SA1 than non-SA1. And I don't think this is a ROM that's big enough for it to be a problem. There's some spicy Doritos falling on me. I look at some like liminal space vibes here. Having to go through the same area multiple times, but it's so different. So very minorly different every time. There's no good reason to do this, and I'm still going to do it anyway. No P-switch jump, though. Which is a shame. I rather like doing those. I get the feeling that there's a lot fewer Dragon coins at this level than there should be. What? Well, that was weird. Why did the P-switch teleport? That's not something the P-switches do. Oh, Fry Guy. I have fought the worst version of Fry Guy, and I have fought the best version of Fry Guy. I am prepared for all Fry Guys. The worst version was in Sweet Dude's Climb the Tower. No, not Sweet Dude's Climb the Tower. Backwards Mario World, which I think might have also been Sweet Dude. Was it? Maybe it wasn't Sweet Dude. But that one just has no stun timer. So the best way to beat that one is literally just keep throwing blocks at it until it dies, because you just don't want to let it have a moment reprieve. It was the best of Fries, it was the worst of Fry Guys. The best Fry Guy fight I've ever fought was probably the one Faro made for one hack that I think is long abandoned, where most of the fight takes place by going upwards, and trying to avoid Fry Guy murdering you on the way. And then a small amount of it is actually the part where you have to hurt him. It was a lot of fun. There was also a pretty decent one in one of those, like, dedicated to a specific Brazilian YouTuber who I've never heard of hacks that seem to exist. Like, I don't really know why, but there's something about it. Like, people make their Kaizo hacks and dedicate them to specific, Twitch streamers and YouTubers. But I feel like the Brazilians make standard hacks and dedicate them to specific YouTubers. That's just not something that really happens outside of that. Oh, I was gonna put a marker down for the prior. The prior level did not seem to have that many dragon coins. Oh, I don't think I died either. I just killed Fry Guy without thinking. I need to go back and check the midway. It's probably gonna take some time in doing. I'd rather like to take the bottom route, please. Well, that's just mean. Okay, weird death mud you can jump right into the bottom of. Until I use that fight somewhere in Summoned. I like it. I think it'd work well in Summoned, actually. Fry Guy is clearly the edgiest of all bosses in Mario 2. Okay, I'll let you know, Donut, if when I do run it locally, after the fact, after the stream, if the counter break thing seems counter-broken. Still. I already hit a midway? I think I did. Not paying enough attention to what I'm doing. In fact, I'm very certain I already hit a midway, so this makes what I'm doing here a little less relevant now, doesn't it? Oh, I guess I didn't. You know, one easy way to find out, because I don't want to have to bother. Act 2 is going to have this warehouse-type area. Thinking some form of electric-based fight. Where you can't hurt him, but have to just run away. Interesting. May have found the hijack. Not sure. Might be onto something. Okay. Interesting. Charles Martinet voiced Fry Guy in Super Mario Advance. I didn't know that Fry Guy had a voice. But I'm ultimately not surprised Charles Martinet voiced him. He seemed to be the guy at Nintendo who did all the voicing. I could have just killed the shell. Okay, there we go. Level over. Except for the dragon coins. Gotta get all the dragon coins. You collect them, all of them, as if they were Pokemon or cigarettes. I forgot which side the thing was on. It looked like the dragon coin is always on the upside, unless otherwise stated. To show off, GBA Mario Advance versions of Classic Mario had voiceover. Interesting. Interesting. I wouldn't guess that that'd be the case, but that's kind of cool. Yeah, the GBA is a console I haven't played too many things on that weren't Metroid-based. Like, I own at least, like, 3DSs, and a 3DS, I think. But I've mostly only played, like, Metroid on them. A little bit of Pokemon. That's about it, actually. Another game I played on it. Oh, I got Chrono Trigger DS for a long flight. And Chrono Trigger DS is okay. It's a decent port, but I think the Super Nintendo version is better. And I think the stuff they added to the port isn't terribly great. Just, you know, it's okay. The bonus dungeons aren't very good. The bonus plot is interesting because it ties into Chrono Cross, at least. But, like, the stuff they added wasn't all that good. The dungeons were really lousy. Lots of back and forth. Alright, Chaos Highway. Well, Mario, I did not accept you to get this far with my new minions. Find the exit. Don't get lost. Okay, well, is this gonna be a confusing level then? It might be a confusing level. Or I'm just gonna get pipes that always take me back to the beginning. Those springs are ridiculous. Absolutely, abjectly ridiculous. Like, I get the feeling I'm just gonna end up in these pipes and just constantly going back to the beginning for no apparent reason. Except that I have to test every pipe in case one of them goes to level 0 or possibly something else of interest. It's the nature of pipes in this game. If there were enough of them, I'd hit the 255 glitch, but I don't think I will. Oh. First intro, the weird Nintendo thing. I assumed that was supposed to be garbled. But yeah, it was totally garbled. It had a lot of Nintendos on it, and then there was the proper Nintendo Presents screen. Like, I assumed it was supposed to look weird. Word of advice, some of these pipes will take you back to the beginning. Or one of the blue pipes. Be careful. I mean, yeah, I've noticed. I really have noticed this fact. This level is just going to be tedious because of it. I would say this is one of my worst moderator instincts, is the burning desire to try every single effing pipe and every single effing door in the game. Especially when it's going to do this. How many more of these will I have to do? Probably not too many more, I don't think. Nope, that looked like the premature dead end. Let's go up here. Yeah, I can check the VOD if you want, or at some point in the near future I can do a reset and we'll see it again. Just to make sure, but I think it was totally garbled on my side. On the midway. That's progress. Anyway, let's go in this pipe. That clearly is going to take me backwards. Like, I think going in any of these pipes is bad. There is no reward for this. Like, why would anyone, after doing the first, like, 3 or 4 pipes, if they weren't doing the sort of silly moderating thing I'm doing, bother? Like, I probably shouldn't test this. Oh, hey, that's bizarrely not solid. That works. That prevents you from soft locking. I'll take it. Alright, now to the next pipe. And look, it took me to the blue pipe. Still a midway. Blue pipe. Thankfully, blue pipes don't seem to have this effect. There's something up there. I have to know. Let me guess. Oh, wait, I did the right thing? I didn't want to do the right thing. Huh, well, that's why. Gotta head out. All right, see you later, Steven. Have a good rest of your day or sleep or whatever. It's definitely a good time to head out, because all I'm doing is checking pipes. So many pipes. Too many pipes, in fact. Too many grandmas. Look out! Grandma's gaining on us! There's way too many ostriches. Let me guess, it's taking me back to the beginning. Yup. You know, this was a good argument for beating the level and then going back and getting this silly midway. But I guess this didn't really take all that much more time. Except I missed something I wanted to do. Okay. One more death. There's a reason for this. I assure you there's a good reason for this. When you have a level so close to the top of the ceiling, I want to see what they do with the floor there, I guess is the best way to phrase it. So instead of going into that pipe, I wanted to go above the pipe and see what we see. I guess also another moderation marker secret. Whenever I use the kill command, it also places a marker. Because you can do that programmatically and it's not that hard to actually rig up. And typically when I use kill, it means there's a soft lock. So anyway, I'm in the soft lock. Well, dang it. Guess I will have to reject this. That one's actually pretty reasonable for someone to end up in. Jump over the pipe, they can get somewhere. Yep. And that's why the kill command places a marker, because frequently it's correlated with soft locks. Not infrequently it's correlated with me doing silly things and needing to exit a level when I can't find a better way to exit it, but in most cases, when I use it, it's because there's a soft lock. This one is not reasonable for people, but I'm gonna guess, yeah, it still is too. Alright. That one's less that one's not quite as unreasonable. Or that one is more unreasonable. Because of how I got to it. I had to use the spring. I don't think I would have been able to get to it from the upper platform easily. But yeah, it's not a very sadistic soft lock. If I have to, like, if I find a particularly sadistic soft lock, I'm kind of on the fence nowadays. There was one hack that I returned to sender pretty early on when I was moderating called, like, Super Lesbian Hunter 400 or something. Or Super Sexy Vampire Lesbians. I forget what it was, honestly. It was a silly, absurdly silly. Oh, you can get in there easily. Never mind. Mistakes were made. But it had a puzzle level where if you did things in just the right order, you would soft lock yourself, and it had a ridiculously long level timer. And it took some doing to do it. Like, you had to specifically do, like, X, Y, and Z before going through to a different part of the level and then killing both Goombas and just, yeah, no, it was just bad. And I'm like, just put, like, some munchers somewhere so you can kill yourself. And he's like, oh, yeah, I'll just do that. Okay, problem solved. But yeah, otherwise that hack it was fun. It wasn't bad, it wasn't great, it was just fun. Alright, 2 more levels. That last section was a train wreck. But I'm back on track. I must hurry before Bowser does something reckless. Mario. Kind of thing where you're doing dialogue be useful to know who's saying it before you start reading it, as opposed to at the end, but I totally get what he's doing here. I kind of wish I could play this the way he wants me to, where you just go, like, ridiculously fast through the level, but Sonic, this ain't. It does remind me, like, the Sonic equivalent of C3 should be happening soon. I would like to look into that at some point. Got that Genesis flash card after all, and I haven't used it for a dang thing except to play Sonic Spinball once or twice. Bowser, you have failed to take over the Mushroom Kingdom. Over and over. I will show you how things are done, foolish Koopa. Fix that. Oh, they're not gonna make this easy, are they? Didn't see that coming. Somehow you just don't expect a disco shell to the face. Sorry, we could not hear you. Hot coffee to the face! I haven't watched a lot of the Eric Andre show, but I do appreciate that gag. Of nonsensical game show that is not understand with completely opaque rules. That and the interview with Sinbad. The interview with Sinbad is truly excellent. One of the best things ever. Okay, so that's right, because he usually puts it right by the goalpost. Broom. And there it is. Okay, now I can just beat the level. I didn't spring good enough. Come on, Mario, you can do it. Brave jump. Good enough. Okay. Alright, there we go. There's some mystery custom code that runs each frame in that level. It does some stuff with sprite tables, and apparently it's using an unused sprite table. Probably just for free RAM, though. No clue. That's weird. Gaming indeed. That is really weird. Got thrown off by the bricks. At least this hack is very generous with the power-ups. I appreciate such things. You're gonna be standard normal, it's nice to give people some good ordnance. Armistice. Oh, and yes, it does mess with the player's position. You die because you get snapped to the left. That's really weird. Like, this hack hasn't done anything, like, really excessive with ASM. Like, I would say at most, it's mostly just, like, adding pixie sprites. Some custom blocks, but, like, nothing big. I'm kind of surprised they bother having, like, a level ASM code for that. Or Uber ASM level code for that. Of course, it's right after the Koopa despawned. More brave jump. Perhaps many more brave jumps. Actually, I'm gonna put a marker so I can check. Go and look at your work. Ow. Well, I got the thwimp. That's a unique option there, I suppose. You don't get that one all the time. The yellow Koopa, I think, is the most common one. There's some good ones. You can get like a 1-up if you're lucky. But if you're unlucky, you get like the thwimp at a very ill-advised location. Very unwanted location. I'm not sure why I did that. Just needed to wait half a second anyway. Those are going to hurt me. Therefore, I will not touch them. Would have been a nice place to put a mushroom. Would have been stuck in a little well. Could have been cute. Alright. It's in a wrapper. Commonly used in sprite codes. Custom sprite there, which is doing something interesting. That is weird, because, like, there's nothing... I don't think there's any custom sprites that really mattered in that. Somebody confidently say that it's a sprite of some kind that's causing issues. Okay. Another marker in just so I can give them that information. Thanks for the GG. Oh, and check the Fry Guy level. Yeah, check the Fry Guy level midway, because I don't think I did. I had to go check out the Sinbad interview out of curiosity. Oh, it's amazing. Feels semi-odd that all the other bosses, except the main ones, are vanilla. I think, yeah, all the main ones are vanilla, and all the sub-bosses are the chocolate ones. So, Mario found his way through Chaos Highway and has to put an end to Roy Koopa of Castle Number 4. The end is near. Mario now finds himself at the Carnival Base. Ooh, Carnival Base. What you found was mostly 2 minutes of wheel spinning. Yeah, the wheel spinning's great. I love the resolution. Just like, I'm gonna move to North Korea. I might just move to North Korea. Yep. Funny no FaceTime. Like I said, I would do it right after. So far this is pretty good, except for the soft locks I found. But we'll see. I mean, 50 markers for 30 exits isn't great, but they're almost all like, here's a toe-tone pipe. Like, definitely could be a lot worse. Let me go and load this up. Oh, wait, what donut? It's the springs? It's the springs? Yeah, that makes sense. They're sprites. But why would whipping the Lakitu cause the Mario to bounce like that? That's bizarre.